Yes, sir.
Hey, happy KOTG Tuesday.
What's going on, boys and girls?
Welcome.
What's going on?
So Grass Geek was the first one in.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hey.
So
That was fun last week.
yeah. LTZ, Yard Hard, Papa Mo's, Alex Carney, Bearded Lawn Guy, Jason Gooden. Those are some of the first
What
ones
is up,
in.
gentlemen?
Hey, you're good,
So-
Miguel.
Yeah, welcome all back in, guys.
Turf Tamer, Kendall, Ellie's Lawn, Kenny Cooper, still awake, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey,
Yeah,
Wow.
Ken.
Kenny
Nice.
must be on vacation or something if he's
I
up
haven't
this
seen
late.
Kenny Cooper in the chat in a while. Welcome back, Kenny.
I thought he was hibernating or something.
must
Maybe
be
he's been-
his winter hours. And we got the
Right.
old infamous Dave Malecki.
Yes.
He is in the chat tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey.
It wouldn't be a show
Dave.
without Dave.
How you guys doing?
Definitely.
Hey.
Good.
Awesome.
What's up?
It's good to see the lawn sauces in here for lunchtime.
Yep. All the way from Hawaii. God dang. Last show, when he was sitting on the beach in Hawaii at 6 p.m. watching our show, I'm jealous.
That was
man.
awesome.
It was
Yeah.
like -3 degrees here, snow on the ground, and
He's like
I'm
in
getting ready to
flip flops and board shorts.
yeah, like it's crazy. We go there for vacation, and so like I said, Lawn Sauce open invitation. If you want to come to Iowa on vacation, I'll show you around, man. So, but yeah, welcome everyone.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Excited for this show tonight. You guys want to start off? I don't know, anybody drinking?
I got the old water
Oh,
with
you
some
got
strawberry
Weller.
flavoring in there, a little Mio.
Yeah, I'm water tonight too. I don't have any Mountain Dews with me on the road, so
Got water.
All right.
I'm water tonight.
That's
But
some-
Tea.
I got some green tea.
That's
Same.
what happened.
we're a sad bunch of
It's
drinkers.
It's winter time. It's winter time, man. And like I'm just freaking cold all the time. Like I can't warm up when it's winter time. Doesn't
I'm
matter.
about
I
to
could
get
wear like
warm.
7 layers. My hands would still be numb.
You
There
stop
we
by
go.
and
Take the
grab
hottest
one.
shower every morning before work just to kind of help wake me up and get me on. Yeah, that
I got
cold,
to,
even
man.
inside.
I got to. Like I don't know how you guys that where it's real cold. I don't know how people do it, man. I'd be out.
Yeah.
Be like I'd probably just real talk. I'd probably checked out.
Real talk.
Real talk. Like I'd probably be checked out. Like
Let's
I
hear
can't.
from
I can't
everybody.
do it. This is about as far north as you'll get me, man. Like I'm good.
Let's
I
hear
won't
from
be able to
everybody
answer.
else in the chat. What's everybody in the chat drinking? We'll hear that. And then while we're doing, I guess, grab your water bottles, grab your cups, grab your mugs, and let's keep off the grass, guys.
Keep off the grass.
Nice warm tea.
Dio.
Rooted
All
since
right.
we changed.
Who we got with us tonight? We got two very special guests. Years of experience at arguably one of the best looking fields in sports turf.
The granddaddy of them all.
Yes. So I don't know, you guys, how about you introduce yourselves? Miguel, do you want to go first?
Miguel Yepez, turf superintendent at the Rose Bowl. Been doing it for been a year and a half. I've been doing it as a turf superintendent, but under Will Schnell for 18 years, which I learned
Wow.
everything I know from that man. I owe it all to him. And then before that, I was at a golf course for 6 years, I believe. So I have some little golf experience too in there. And that's how I became a golfer.
There you go.
So you took over. So Will was your boss for 18 years, and then you
Yes.
took over for him recently when he retired.
Yes, I did.
That's
So
awesome.
I owe it all to him, man. It was
Awesome.
great. It was great working. It was great having a boss like him and our team. Teamwork makes the dream work.
There you go.
So Will, who are you?
All right. I'm Will Oh, and get back to who you arguing with, saying it might be the best looking field in the country. Yeah. So Will Schnell, I was there 18 years. Before that, I was with the LA Dodgers. Before that, the Cleveland Browns. Back when Mr. Modell was at the old municipal stadium, I took care of the new practice fields. Before that, I got to build a brand new facility for the New York Yankees up in Norwich, Connecticut. Was there for 4 years. Before that, I worked for the Harrisburg Senators, baseball team, Harrisburg Senators. Did some spring training work down with Murray Cook down in West Palm Beach, the Atlanta Braves and Montreal Expos. I got my degree from Central Missouri State in turf grass management. So I grew up on a farm here in Missouri. I learned a lot just being on the farm, and the best decision I ever made was to hire Miguel Yepez. So that was a good decision.
Awesome.
So did you guys like Venmo each other money so you guys could say that about each other?
That's awesome.
To the matter, it was a delight to work, to work beside him. He was just a great human being and a great worker, and he taught me as much as I taught him. So a great talent and a great man. So
Thank you.
It's awesome.
It's an awesome story. Yeah, it's a great story. How it all kind of worked out. So I mean, let's just get right into it. When would you consider your fertility plan starts, like your season, since you're in a warm climate? When do you say your season start is, or is it all year round? And if walk us through your fertility program.
Well, it's all year round, I believe, just because we have to be around events. Like I said, all these events that we have, it doesn't stop just with UCLA or the Rose Bowl game. We have events and commercials and filmings and all that stuff, and so we have to work around that. So whatever we have planned, we have to make sure that we are working with the event coordinators and making sure that we're able to do what we're supposed to do around that. Because that's very important. That that's our revenue also. Bringing in events, minor events.
Is there ever a point in time? I mean, so the Rose Bowl's in Pasadena, right? So what's that? That's northeast of LA, right?
Yes.
If I remember correctly.
Somewhere in there. I mean,
haven't been out there for a couple of years myself, but so is there ever a point in time where things are kind of slowed down a little bit in terms of growing, or is it just kind of constant? You're pretty much constant going. I mean, obviously you're constantly keeping up with it, but what about your kind of growth rates? I mean, does there ever a point in time where you're slowing down?
Well, I think that during wintertime you do slow down, but like you try to push it once in a while just because you're trying to recover from all these events that you're having out there.
Gotcha.
Like right now we have our Rose Bowl game. You would think that we would just let it be, just slow it down, but I had a half a marathon finish on the field 2 weeks ago, and then getting ready for this whole week of NFLPA practice. And after this NFL game on Saturday, I'll have maybe 2 filmings during the week. And then after that, I'll have another filming next week. So it's just constant. I have to make sure that it keeps growing out of that, stress that it's giving.
So what size crew do you guys have to help manage that stadium?
Well, I have a crew of 2 guys, Martin Rodriguez and Walter Beasley. And I have part-timers that come in and help out also. And some of those guys have been helping me out for maybe 5-7 years. So it's nice to have guys that know what they're doing, even though they're part-time. And usually for like the Rose Bowl game, I have, if I end up having a crew of maybe 15 guys, but 7-8 guys of those are guys that have their regular jobs, like principals or teachers, or they work in real estate, but they'll take their time off to come and help out. And that kind of helps out because they've been doing it for probably 10 years, and having the guys that know what they're doing, it's very, it's liable. It's very, it makes
That's a pretty nice side hustle.
Yeah, yes.
It's a pretty nice side job.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that they would do, these guys that come on just for the Rose Bowl game to help you guys out? what are some of the, what would their roles be in getting the
Well,
field ready?
I have 3 brothers that come and help out, and all they do is paint, because when they came in 10 years ago, they were just holding hoses, and little by little, they came and helped out and improved. And like they somehow, some way, we got them into the LA Coliseum, so they help out at USC. They worked it in, and they work at SoFi helping out paint the field there. They also
Sweet.
help out and paint at Raiders Town with the Raiders. So they're everywhere now. Some of these guys, they just go, like, say, part-time and just go help out just for the love of painting, being involved.
Yeah,
That's
so it
awesome.
looks like the live chat is, everybody kind of wants to know what your fertilizer plan is and stuff. Like, what kind of, you guys granular, liquid?
Both.
How often do you use it throughout the year? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it's both granular and liquids. I would say I use a lot of liquids during the season because I have to watch my irrigation. So I don't want to irrigate, so I have to watch my moisture. And and that also goes into all these events that we have. So it could be liquid or granular because of that.
So do you guys have, between the two of you, do you have different fertilizing strategies? And do you soil test and apply nutrients based on your soil test? And if so,
Yes.
how often do you soil test?
Year and a half, I soil test every 3 to 4 months. Don't recall. I can't speak for Will, what he used to do. Is he
Yeah.
there?
I did a little more often, and I also did tissue tests on it.
Yeah.
So I love playing with the grass and try pushing it probably too much. But that's something I really enjoyed doing is seeing how far you can push the grass. And as Miguel said, there's so many events there that you're having to grow the paint out, and by using different type of fertility to manipulate the plant, you can really accelerate that top growth to grow that plant out of paint, and you can have another event really quick. So when I was there, we were doing granulars like half a pound to 3/4 of a pound of N every 2 weeks, and a foliar once a week. And sometimes that was organic, or that was like a quick release ammonium nitrate or calcium nitrate, or a hot foliar spray. So it's just there's so many events there at the Rose Bowl that you have to keep that grass growing. Probably a lot of questions will be asked about, did we use growth regulators? Really, in my sight vision of it, I didn't think I really could, because putting on a growth regulator, we would not know if we were going to have a commercial or not. Chances are Miguel's commercials in 2 weeks are going to be Super Bowl commercial, so it's important that those field looks like there wasn't a Rose Bowl game or an NFLPA game. So it's important that you keep that grass growing. So I didn't ever put it on a growth regulator, because you didn't know you get a phone call from an event coordinator and say, hey, we got film scouts coming down to look at the field and see if we can have a film in on the field, and a film in on the field at the Rose Bowl for a day thing, it can be $25,000 to $30,000 clearing, so that's, you want to get those events in there. So if you can get, and at plus all costs, that's a nice payday. You can get two of those a week or whatever. That's really nice. So and we pride ourselves, Miguel he is one of the best painters in the world. And he kind of came up with a new technique of like, instead of spraying the paint, he would roll the paint on the leaf blade. And so what that would do is, when you spray the paint, and correct me, Miguel, if I'm wrong here, but it would spray down, even at the lightest amount, it would spray down into 1 inch of the total leaf blade. But then when you started rolling it, it would only cover it would only cover the top quarter inch of it. So we would always, we knew we had like 2 commercials in a week. We'd let that grass grow
yeah.
up, and that would usually season. So it'd be rye. Then he would take a roll and he would roll that. And so he was only, what, repainting maybe the top quarter inch leaf blade, Miguel,
Yes.
something like that,
Something
instead
like
of
that.
the, you know, and then go out there and put a hot spray on a hot foliar and get that to grow. And then you come in there and with the mower and mow that off. And then sometimes you have to use green paint, but you'd almost be where you didn't know if there was a painting the day before. You know, Miguel is really good about painting and then manipulating, you know, then changing it over or darkening it out and able to.
So,
you know,
hey, I was wondering, with taking that into account, you know, getting ready for the commercials and stuff, you guys had the Rose Bowl, you know, a few weeks back. And then here in a couple of weeks, potentially you'll have where you're going to be filming or hosting something on the grass. What are you guys doing now specifically leading up to that to get it ready? Are there specific things like you say, okay, hey, we got 2 weeks to go.
Yeah.
This is what we do. Like, what are you guys doing now to get ready for that?
Well, like after the Rose Bowl game, I greened out the center logo, and you notice they had some 100 Centennial logos on the 25-yard line. So I greened that out, knowing that with the growth that I get in the green, it'll kind of blend in and hide out for my NFLPA week, which is this week. So now for this NFLPA on Sunday or Monday, I'll do the same thing. I'll green it out and do the same thing and try, you know, push it to grow it, and then it'll blend in. Eventually, hopefully, by the time those filmings come in, it's doing the same thing. And also,
So
when
what do you
we use,
guys? How do you guys push it? What are you guys doing to get it to grow? Just throwing nitrogen, or what do you guys?
Yeah, so put some nitrogen in there and just, you know, fast release and just grow it out. And also when I use the paint that I use for this time of the year, it's quick cure paint from Pioneer, which is, this thing doesn't re-wet. So once it dries, it stays on there. So because sometimes what happens is if you paint it, but then overnight it re-wets and it starts bleeding and you start seeing whatever was under there. You don't
Goes
have enough
down
paint.
deeper.
Yeah.
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 That's smart. Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah, so they were able to make this paint for us a few years back that we used for the Rose Bowl game itself.
They came out and did that exactly because Miguel would look at the field and the first quarter looked good. By the fourth quarter, it was all over everywhere. And then they came out and I think they actually put like some rosin in the paint, and it just sticks to the leaf. What it's kind of this industry standard where, I mean, it's first play, last play. It stuff sticks to the leaf blade and not on the, you know, it allows you to do work the next day. Once you paint, you'll be out there and mowing the next day. You're not tracking, and you can put the tarp on and pull it off. You know, it's really been a game changer. You know, Pioneer did a really good job with coming up with that for the industry. A really good job.
And it helps out for, like I said, it helps out when we have to cover another picture, you know, end zone from another team.
Yeah.
Filming. It helps out for that too.
So once you guys have
you
pushed the growth and you're ready to cut that grass, Papa Mo's Lowe's was asking what kind of mowers you guys using over there.
I have 3575D Real Masters 5 gang with 11 blade. I have 2 of those. They're a beauty. You know, I love it to death.
He's got what? You got 2.5 acres. You can mow that whole field, and how quick, Miguel?
With both mowers, I say less than an hour.
Yeah.
Do you guys mow daily, or how often do you mow?
We mow. We're the type that we take our time when we mow. You know, we've been other places. We've been to other places, and they're flying. You know, and then we're like, whoa.
Enjoy the mow.
Yes, you got to enjoy the mow. You know, you have to enjoy it. You have to take it in.
Is it mowed?
You have to take it in. You know,
it's not a race.
It's not a race. No, it's not a race.
Yeah,
So
especially real mowing.
So like for the Rose Bowl, what's your height of cut for the game day Rose Bowl? What's your height of cut?
3/4.
3/4 of an inch.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Tight grass. Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that.
So
I just remember when I was in high school playing on a football field. Obviously, this is like leagues different, but I mean, it's taller. It's grass. It's like a nice flat kind of field, mowed kind of short, but not 3/4. Like this is next level NFL.
Yeah.
Like it might as well.
And
that's awesome.
long, and if you tell correct me if I'm wrong, Will, we think that's tall.
mhm.
Yep. Now, do you guys
That
run
gives them extra
buckets on your?
cushion.
Do you guys run
Yes,
buckets on those
we run
cutters?
buckets. Yes, we run baskets on it. Yes,
Catch all of it, huh? Okay.
keep it
I
clean.
was saying yesterday they actually don't have any decks. They're real mowing. They don't have a deck. So
Yeah.
they got a reel. So
Yeah.
Now, I have a couple months ago, we had talked on this show about the ban in California on gas powered lawn equipment. Now, is that something that's going to affect you guys at all? Or is there, do you kind of get a pass because it's, a commercial property and,
Well, my mowers are diesel.
Mhm.
So I'm good with my mowers. It's just my workmen that are gas right now. And those that they're trying to, I remember, correct me if I'm wrong, Will, we had diesel a few years back. And I'm thinking that we might be going back to that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe inside there, but it is a growing problem in California. I do know some of the golf courses are having to change.
Mhm.
That's got to be
How
expensive
wide is the
transition.
reels? How
Do
wide
what?
of a cut is the reel?
It's well, there's 5 of them. It's 10 feet.
So each stripe is 10 foot.
Yeah, nine something, I believe, because I with 2 passes I get 5 yards. Overlapping a little bit,
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it when football fields like stripe every 10 yards, like when you can see that, that's like my favorite thing
Well,
for a football field.
we used to do 5 yards now, Will, and we decided to go every 10 yards because, when you have the 10 yards, you're mowing, you're striping if you have like a 20 yard line, you have the 2 and the 0. So you stripe them the same color, because if you do them every 5 yards, the 2 and the 0, they won't match. One looks faded and one doesn't. So we do it every 5 every 10 yards because of that.
Yeah, that's
Look-
always my favorite. Looks
It's
so good.
interesting.
You don't have to. So you have to mow a stripe and then jump over and let somebody come beside of you because you're mowing 2 passes. Is that what you're saying?
No, 2 passes, the 5 yard line is 2 passes, and you just turn around and you mow the next the next pass coming the other way.
5-15. 5-15. Yeah, all one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're coming over and then coming back over and kind of.
Yeah, just striping it back and forth, every 10 yards.
I saw a picture of how you have like where the players stand. You guys had it striped. So like if the field was going like this, you had like where the players stand striped this way, and that looked pretty cool.
We matched the coach's box, so we do it on the sideline to match the coach's boxes and all that stuff. Yes, we do.
That looks. Sometimes nobody really messes with that end of the field, but that just looks sweet because that really made it pop inside.
And we mow it one way, so it looks bright on TV. A certain way that you mow.
Yeah.
That's
So-
awesome.
Do you do
That's how
that
we
based
take
on?
pictures.
Do you do it based on the sun, or are you going to do it based on like the camera angle and like where the press box is and all that
Camera
stuff?
angle and well, the sun, it depends. Knowing that it's at that time for UCLA, it depends on the time of the sun is a different spot. But for the Rose Bowl game, a 3 o'clock game, it's hitting the field perfectly.
Mhm.
So it's not about the sun, but it is about the camera angles and like the sky cam and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Is that that field heated?
Excuse me?
Is it heated? Can you not hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay. Is it heated? The ground.
Yeah. California's heated.
Yeah.
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 They got that natural sun heated.
Yeah, we get sun. My field is entirely, the sun is hitting it entirely 9 o'clock to probably 3:30 around this time right now. So
So
during the
what's the
summertime,
soil temperature? What is like your I guess like a average soil temperature for you?
soil temperature right now. I haven't taken it recently. I would say in the 60s. I mean, I wouldn't
Okay.
think it gets that cold. I mean, we get frost 2 weeks before the 1st of January, and maybe a week after, and that's it. After that we don't get no more frost. It doesn't get too cold down there in that perspective.
That's nice.
So are you guys allowed to cut your own designs, or are you required to keep it traditional, or, you know, can you do some crazy stripe patterns if you wanted to?
For a football game?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't know. I think we just keep it traditional. I think UCLA is more traditional. So we've never changed it once we went to the 10 yards. For soccer, they have a certain way of the way they want to mow the grass.
Hmm.
They
So no
don't like
bullseyes.
they don't like the north to south anymore.
No bullseyes.
Yeah, they want to mow. They match their boxes. Have you noticed? They have the small box, the big box, and they have also the penalty shot. That's every 18 feet. So their mowing patterns are 18 feet, and then your circle is 60. So you cut it in 4. So soccer, they tell you how to mow it. That's what they want, and they just as many stripes as they want on there.
Okay.
You think
do you guys get out there with like some tape or something measured? Do you guys pre-measure those cuts beforehand,
Yes.
or do you guys just eyeball it?
No, for soccer we pre-measured. Yes, we put flags out there to make sure that we're doing it the way they want. And football was you have your lines out there, but for soccer we do pre-measured. Yes.
Okay. Sweet.
Hey,
So a couple of people.
And then I would have to put a string down when Will was mowing.
Yeah,
But-
keep them straight.
Okay.
Will, you mentioned sometimes you would throw down an organic fert. You know, is that something you use as well, Miguel? And Will, what kind of like organic fert are you talking about? Like, what were the sources?
It was a compost. It was live earth stuff that I used. It had a lot of humate in it. The there at the field, we put a new drainage system in it back 7-8 years ago, Miguel, something like that.
No, it was
Maybe
2009
years ago.
Yeah, probably 10 years ago, something like that.
Yeah. So it's got a sand cap on it, and then whenever they resod, we get either sod on plastic, and which is 96% sand. So I always like putting a base, or a grow power, which is a compost there too. Was just kind of catches the empty windows there and also help feeds the microbial activity. So that's just two very good products that we use that helped us bridge the gap between the quick releases and the foliars. So
Yes.
are you still using the grow power?
Yes, I'm still at 11 to 9, stuff like that. Yes.
Now, is that under the sod or is that applied after the sod's laid?
Both.
Oh,
Both.
yes.
Both.
Oh,
So is it chicken manure, or you said some humates in it too? Or
Yeah, it's got some. So I don't think it has any chicken manure in it, but it's a very good clean for slow release. It's got a lot of good products. So I liked it a lot. It had a lot of iron in it, and I could never get that field green enough. So I always like the iron and calcium mag in it. So
We had Adam on from MVS not too long ago, and he was saying that you guys essentially resod the field like almost every 2 years. And I want to know, number one, is that common? Is that you guys do that basically? It's on a cycle where the grass is kind of changed out pretty frequently, relative to like a homeowner or something. And then, say if you had to make that grass maintain for a long time, you just replace it. Would you guys fertilize or treat it any differently than you do now, knowing that you could just get new sod in a year or so?
we average 3 times a year.
Oh, wow.
Before COVID, we've done probably 5 to 6 times a year when we've had concerts. There was a year we did 5 concerts, and we decided at 5 or 6 times in 1 year. I think twice. So we've averaged, with our average was 3 years, I believe, in a year.
So what type of event, whether it be concerts, a football game, or anything, what type of event tears up the field the most?
concert. I mean, they lay down a turf floor and it just suffocates it, and that's it. It's covered for 7-8 days. And then you just, once it's uncovered, that's it for it. I mean, you're having to have there's times we've had games 2 weeks after that. So there's no way you're going to have a game after that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So are a lot of
So
the
they're there for the
concerts-
stadium, not the field.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're there for the stadium, not the field. Yeah.
So then are a lot of the concerts in the like off season of football then?
We've had some during the season. We had a Green Day come in one year in the middle of the UCLA season, which ended up being not a big stage. And we only had to resod from the 15-yard line to the 25-yard line where the stage was at. It's exactly just where the stage was at, and also where the workers were coming in. And we matched it up with the lines and everything so we could hide it. So I don't think you noticed that it was resodded.
So speaking of the sod and stuff, Alan Carter from Tuckahoe Turf Farms, he's wanting to know if you guys get your sod from West Coast Sod.
Yes, West Coast Turf. Yes, correct.
Okay. Nice.
So does the Grow Power have a MP and K?
Yeah, you can get NP and K at different analysis of it. What we use is 11-2 supplemented with that. It's really nice. It's one of my favorite organics. It's a nice product.
What's it
Spreads
called?
well.
Grow Power?
Grow
Is
Power.
it GO? Is it GRO and then power? No W?
How is it? GR, what is it, Miguel? Do you remember?
I think it's GRO.
GROW?
I'm trying to pull it up right now. I was gonna.
I don't know. Can't recall if it has a W in there. Not.
I see that they
don't know.
make. I
But-
see they make a 5-3-1. It's got 70%
It's got a
humus.
lot. Yeah, it's nice.
Looks like it's
But the
GRO power.
It's a green bag.
Yeah, the majority. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. The majority of the fertilizer that Miguel using is the Griggs 777, right? And
Yes,
then the other
7, yes.
Griggs product.
7014.
So keep that potassium up. A lot of foliars.
So while we're talking the kind of field specifics and whatnot, I was kind of curious what the cultivars currently are on there. What cultivars are you currently on the field, and how has it changed over the years? Was 10 years ago you guys were primarily Bermuda or rye, and then over the years it's kind of changed. I'm just kind of curious to know that.
Well, we've always wanted Bermuda, that I can recall right now. Bermuda, Bandera, Tifway, 319, all that stuff. But then just overseed it with rye. I don't think we've changed anything from that. Correct, Will?
Yeah. What was it? We started introducing some blue back about 6 years ago, but there was another one there, another Bermuda. We did a 419 or 320, did some 328.
328.
All the Tifway, Tifway. The Bandera. There's there was another one that cannot think of it. That was one of the first ones that West Coast. So then, but West Coast has a nice variety of Bermudas that we use, and they always, and back when we were sodding 3 or 4 times a year, is, Phil would only be in 4 months or so always took kind of what the best available was, and now for the Roseville game, we were very picky at what we wanted and the type of soils, but knowing that sometimes it'd only be in 3 or 4 months, then we would go with what they had best available. So what was that, Bermuda?
So are they growing their sod in anticipation that you guys will shortly be needing it throughout the year?
Yeah.
It's like they're being prepared for you guys for later on.
Yes. That's
Do
the
you guys
Roseville.
tell
That's what
them-
we do the Roseville.
Okay.
Yeah. We would go out there, me and Miguel would go out there, and we would reserve 3 to 4 fields, knowing that if we knew we needed 3 fields, we reserve 4 for a backup, and there's times when we needed to back up. Just go out there, monitor them, and maintain, and not so much maintain, just make sure everything is in line, and just really try to build a relationship with the sod farm. Just, we would only have the field for 3 months or a year, where they had been growing that field for, over a year. So Larry at the sod farm, a great farmer out there, and John Mormon and the guys out there, and Tom Stafford, they really worked with us very good to really give us a great product. And us, a field is no better than the sod farm. It's so important.
Does the
that,
sod farm, do they have
bring-
their own fertility program, or do they do you guys tell them
Yeah.
how you want that sod prepared, or do they do it themselves and then you guys take over when it's on the field? Do you guys have any say in how they grow it and all that good stuff?
They do their own
I
thing.
had-
Will did some.
I had a lot of input with it, because I enjoyed that aspect of it. I probably drove them crazy, but I enjoyed that aspect of it. It's, and I think, we always had a pretty good product. So, but
And
It's
Yeah.
basically like,
That's
as long as they
very
can
hands-on out
get
there.
it ready the way you want it, they can grow however they want, as long as it results in looking like
But-
you guys are looking for.
But we went out there, like Will said, we was out there for sure once a month, and or more than that, just to make sure that it was doing what we wanted it to do, And we would also bring pieces to our place and lay them out, and see how it would do. Just with that little piece out there, we put it in, like I said, we have enough sideline to do that. So we would bring in 3 feet by 3 feet, or a little bigger than that, and lay it down, bring it in a 3/4 inch, and even in 1/2 inch, and just see how it would do,
Yeah, side by side
and that
comparison.
would tell us how thick we'd have to go if we knew we had 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 1 week, and we kind of say, okay, we get to rooting, because every 1/4 inch of thickness sod you go is like $50,000 in more price to sod that field. So it's important, if you can save a 1/4 of an inch instead of going 1 1/4 inches, you can go 1 inch. That saves you, $50,000, because you also got to worry about hauling that out too. So just not the price of the sod, but all the other things that you got to do. So it was important. And also, going out to sod farm, Miguel would always take cleats out there with him, and he'd actually go out there and and run drills out there to see how the sod would play. So if a verticutting or something, we really checked it, and did perk tests out there, and wanted to make sure we, because once it's there, and it's a big investment.
And that's something, like I said, I learned was, well, it has to, we want it to look
Really great
11,
job.
but we want it to play like a 15. It's our playability is very important, for the safety of the players.
Yeah.
So Will, did you take a football, and Miguel, you're out there running routes and stuff like that? Is that what you were doing?
Hey,
Yeah.
we've done it. We've done that. I'm not gonna lie about that.
That's got to be like a unique privilege to be the first guys to toss a ball or run around on the field, just testing it out, That's pretty sweet.
Because we have the cleats, and to this day I have the cleats, and I have guys just put the cleats on, and because we have some ex-football players that played in college, and just go out there and just run and see how it does when they do their cuts,
Yeah.
We go from there.
That's pretty sweet.
That's
cool.
That's like tells you what you have out there. And then also for the Rose Bowl game each year, we always let one of the grounds crew guys catch the first pass on that field. So we always, whoever did an outstanding job, we'd say we'd have a first catch, first pass, and we have 2
First
football.
catch, first pass. Yes.
That's awesome.
That's neat. I like that. It's cool.
So they take pride in that. They for the Rose Bowl game, they're trying their best to get that. Those 2 guys, they try their best to get that ball to be the first guy to throw the ball and first guy to catch the ball.
Yeah.
Now,
And then each year there's
Now, what kind of program are you guys on in terms of fungicides, insecticides, herbicides, all that kind of stuff? I would assume you have that planned out, but can you give us kind of a little picture of what that looks like for you?
I use Heritage every month and throw it down with some fleet, which is wetting agent, just to prevent maintenance. I use Secure and Bacchanal, and Subdue. Those are about the ones I use right now.
So are you going as a preventive rate?
Yeah, preventive rate, yes.
for fungus?
Preventive
Okay.
rate, pretty much, yes.
Have you ever had a year, whether it be mid-season or whatever, where you got completely wiped out with a disease and had to come in and replace the whole sod?
Knock on wood, no.
Cool. Gotcha. But
What
in
about
all
like
reality, though,
insects,
oh, sorry.
grubs, armyworms? Go ahead, Nate. Finish.
I was
finish
just
your,
gonna say, like, you probably don't have the swings like some, like in the Midwest we do. We can go from 50 degrees to 90 degrees within a week. So,
Yeah.
and then the humidity that we have is crazy. So I mean, I think you guys are probably gonna be a lot more consistent without the valleys. So that helps you out a lot with your fungus and stuff.
Yes.
And plus,
Yeah, it's-
changing out sod too, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And plus that, if you see how the stadium is built, it's wide open. So you get a lot of sunlight and a lot of air in there. So it's very, very turf friendly, that stadium. I've been at other stadiums where it's up and you don't get any air. And, it's sunny so much out there. And so, it's a really great place to grow grass.
So the field is kind of isolated, right? It's not like a golf course where it's necessarily, there's a lot more stuff around it where it could introduce insects and stuff. Do you guys find that being in the stadium, probably not with fungus as much because it's open air, but being in an isolated field surrounded by the stadium, have you guys ever had big issues with insects or any other kind of pests besides like fungus and typical disease, but pests?
Not yet. Not
Knock on wood, right?
No army worms or anything, or
Hey, there's
No armyworms and grubs every once in a while. And what was that critter we had in there? A mole or something? Like 4 days before a Rose Bowl.
Oh, really?
a gopher.
Oh man,
A gopher. I don't know how we ended up with a gopher.
yeah. How does that happen?
it wasn't from
we had a
Minnesota,
gopher.
was it?
We had a gopher probably like a couple days before a Rose Bowl game. I don't know how that one happened.
Minnesota
thing
wasn't
is,
playing in that game.
No, but after the game, he was out there. We found ways to get rid of him, and maybe a couple of days after the game, you could see where the turf was just sinking in, and you could see his tracks where his tunnels.
Yeah.
But that was days after. Like, oh man.
I think it's
That was scary.
Opens Mow Time came and let go one of his pets in the stadium. So
that was scary though, having to go for a couple of days before a game.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
Yeah.
That leads to a good question that one of the guys in the live chat asked. He said, what's kind of the biggest oops in your career? Like biggest turf oops, like that kind of gave you a heart attack. Like what was a heart stopper that you said,
you're ready
like,
to quit.
what was a good, like, oh crap moment
Yeah.
for you?
I think we all have it when we're painting. I would think there's certain things that we've painted before, and like the commercial where it says, what did it say?
Chiefs and the chefs.
Yeah, something like that. not that big, but something like that. It happens out there. I'm not gonna say it doesn't. So those are oops.
The one I can remember that I just about lost my head on was the year that we had the Rose Bowl game on January 1st and the national championship on January 7th. And we resided we resided that whole field. And, we sided everything. And this was back before Sidekick. We did that all by hand. And then started painting everything. And I don't think none of us went to sleep for days. And then we got to all the logos out. And my buddy Neil Pate, he flown in from the Cleveland Browns, and he looked at it and he said, you got the 20-yard line logo on the 25. And I just looked at it and like, oh my gosh. The first time, and so we had to pull that sod up and put down new sod. And that was first thing he walks and said, you got one logo on the 20 and another one on the 25. And I think you might, and I'm like, yeah, we did. So that was probably
Yeah, I remember that was being that, like Will said, we were doing a turnaround and we were doing everything at the same. We were laying sod while we were painting for that game, and there was no numbers out there. There were just lines. So when we put it down, it was not a 25 or 20-yard line, and that ended up happening. and we replaced for my sideline.
Yeah.
And we put it on the field, and then we brought in some West Coast turf, brought in some more, and we replaced the sideline later on that day. But to get the field ready, we did grab some from the sideline.
Yeah,
I remember that one. I think that would be the worst one. Yeah.
Had like 4 inches of sod. We had, because we had put sod on top of sod that time. We just didn't have time to pull that field out. So, yeah, that was, but we fixed it. So,
Do you guys ever
I'm glad
aerate
Neil was there to
the
catch it.
field?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
After these events that I get here, I'll be aerifying. I'll put in some pours out, going 3 to 4 to 5 inches in, putting some sand out, especially after this practice. I mean top dressers and stuff like that. So by aerifying, it'll do some good. I have a 648 Pro Core out there, a total.
Top dressing with sand after.
Yeah. I top dress it with green sand. So we believe that green sanding, it also creates more heat, and it kind of helps it out. It's
What's
like
green
something
sand?
like a grow.
Yeah. What is it?
Instead of white sand, it's green dye. It's dyed green.
Hmm.
So we put it in, and it works out. It works out pretty good for us.
Cool.
And it helps like a growth blanket. That's how we believe. Something like growth blanket creates heat. And you see a difference.
Interesting. So the green, the dyeing it somehow has it retain heat better. Put some kind of a coating on the sand grains or something.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Interesting.
Never would have thought of that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Kind of the same idea, painting it sometimes
It's
too.
Correct. Yes. Same thing. Because we noticed it when, like, on your end zones, if you were to put a black coat, like if you painted something in black, that area would grow a lot more than somewhere where there was no paint at all.
Cool.
It's almost like a greenhouse
Yeah, it's-
effect.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Hey, we got a guy.
It's
We got a guy in
accelerates
the
growth.
we got a guy in the chat that says he wants to tell you guys hi. Jay Pello. I believe he's actually from California.
Mhm.
I believe he works in the turf industry. He says you guys go way back and wanted to say hi.
Hi back.
All right.
How you doing?
Jason Pello, right?
Hey.
Jason.
Yeah. What's his first name?
He's
Yeah,
Jason.
we met him at GIE.
Yeah. So a lot of other guys, we're all DIY guys, so it's awesome to hear this pro stuff and what you guys do professionally. It seems like when we have professional guests on, we like to kind of know what your guys' lawns at home look like. And so, because usually when you're at home, you don't want to work, right? Because you do it all day long. So what are your guys' lawns? If we drove by your house, would we be as impressed as if we went by the Rose Bowl, or would we call the HOA on you or something?
Yeah, you have to
Call
call.
the
You have to
Rose
call.
Club.
You wouldn't be impressed. Like I was,
Yes.
I was mentioning the other day. It's more about my kids' baseball high school. I help out there, so my time goes to that.
Okay.
So that's where I spend my time. I don't have time to do it at home, so I do it there.
Well, with California, you guys probably do like rock landscaping or something, or do you actually have grass?
I have grass and a little bit of synthetic turf.
Okay. All right. What about you, Will?
Synthetic. Oh, I don't have. I'm out here on my farm in Missouri, so I got 800 acres. So I don't worry too much about.
It's going to take a while for a neighbor to drive by and look at yours, right?
Will's got the Yellowstone Ranch down there in Missouri.
All right.
800 acres.
It was been in our family for 100 and some years, so that's how I learned how to grow grass, on the farm. So hard work, a little pay.
Ole, you think he buys by the pallet, Ole?
Oh yeah. I'd love to have 800 acres. Lord have mercy. We have goats, pigs, bulls, you name it. Racetrack down the middle.
Trying to get Miguel out here to have some fun, but he's always too busy. So
Shooting range. Good Lord.
He's the busy one now, right? So
Well, you guys are pretty
another-
close to me then. I'm out in Columbia, Missouri. So you guys are
Yeah.
out, what, Centralia area?
Marshall Junction.
Okay,
Yeah. Whereabouts are you in
that's
Columbia?
awesome.
You know Doc
Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah. I need to go visit his
Oh,
farm or
yeah.
whatever, his little test plot. I need to go check him out in the spring. We've been talking about
Yeah,
figuring out a good time to go do that.
yeah. He'll put you to work. You put me to work when I went out.
I get permission to spend all day there for my wife. I'll bring my working boots.
he'll let anybody
You'll
come
learn
out for
something.
free labor.
I'm sure.
Yeah. No, we did some test plots. It was pretty cool doing test plots with him. It was cool. You learn a lot from him. He's very knowledgeable.
So are you working with Mountain View Seeds now?
Yeah, I consult for him. So it's really was it was a true gift to get to, I came here to do some farming, and also I got opportunity. Aaron wanted to know if I'd want to do some consulting for him, and I get to go all over the country and see what other guys are doing and help out, and it's been a real blessing to really get into the seed and the vegetative part of what they're doing. So it's really cool. It's been a really good experience. So, out to Rose Bowl, we were always just so busy we could never go to other people's stadiums. We'd go down to San Diego or go to the Dodgers or the Coliseum and just see how other people did it. But I've got to go over to almost every stadium in the country, and just see how other guys are growing grass. And there's a lot of ways to grow grass and grow very good grass. And even how Miguel and myself grow grass is too different. And it's just really cool to see how people can achieve such great results by doing it in two different ways. So.
More than one way to skin a cat.
Yeah. What does that mean? Who skins a cat?
I don't know, but
I
I've
mean,
heard it
there's
my
more than
whole
one way to do it.
my whole life. I guess there's more than one way to get to the finish line. How about
I
that?
guess
go.
there you go.
Nice
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
finish last.
No, I
So
wouldn't say that.
another question that came in was what type of irrigation system do you guys use on Rose Bowl, and is there a specific company or sprinkler head that you guys like to use?
We have Toro Centennial irrigation system, and we use them with T7s, which pop up. They're probably like 5 to 7 inches up. And we started using those when we started doing sod on top of sod. So we would have to dig in and raise them up. So we'd just leave them in there, and it would pop up enough that it would cover the sod on top.
Okay.
And
The
we
next
just
2
kept going.
inches.
The next one, yeah.
Let's
So
save
we-
Saves
So
a
do you
lot
get-
of time and work.
Do you guys have a partnership with Toro?
yes, we do.
Okay, I was gonna say I would assume that you guys would have an official sponsor or whatnot with being
Yeah.
the Rose Bowl and everything.
That's Toro.
Yeah, nice,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. You got that with Griggs too, right? Mountain
We have
View
we have
Seed.
that with Griggs, our fertilizer. We have that with Pioneer Paint Athletics.
Got to deal with Sidekick. So those are all
Yeah.
good companies that that really takes good care of us. Take good care of the Rose Bowl. It helps. Those little things help a lot to make your budgets work. Even at the
Oh, yeah.
Rose Bowl, you gotta worry about it. Takes a lot of money.
So how
definitely.
often are you do you have to work on adjusting your pH a lot, or is it pretty consistent? And if so, I mean, are you high or is it low?
Pretty
what do you-
consistent, and then not high, not low or high, just consistent.
Cool.
The water source is very throughout the year. It stays pretty close to neutral. Every once in a while, you have to add some calcium, but it's the water source stays pretty good there. And plus with the sandier profile, only sometimes like you get it out when you bring in sod, your pH might be off just a little bit, but it doesn't take much to correct that.
Cool. So back to the paint. Is most games painted then? And why not just paint it every time?
Every game is painted. Every game we start.
Wait, are you talking paint?
I'm talking about the turf being painted, the actual physical green turf.
Oh, actual green on it.
Yeah.
We've done both. We've done where we don't do it and where we do it, So it all depends on how it's looking, how it's recovering. And I believe if you have back-to-backs, you're probably going to have to use it because you don't have time to recover and it's going to look beat up,
The only thing negative about the green paint is if you get paint built up on it, you really don't know what you have. It gives you a false sense of healthy plant. It's kind of like putting, and like you don't really know, like, wow, what is my plant doing? So you go out there and look at it, you can't really see. You got to get down your hands and knees. That's one negative. You think you got a really healthy plant, and the plant's not where you think it is. So
yeah, you have to be careful with that because you like you said, you start putting paint down and you're thinking it's looking green and it's not really green.
Yeah, it's the plant's trying to tell you something. You're covering it up. So that's the one negative is you don't really know what you have if you start applying a paint.
So if you paint and you have to paint because it's back to back or whatever, so I guess then you would not do a foliar feed because it would be paint on the leaf.
We still do. We still do.
I guess it's a foliar feed to the soil.
No, it's only droplets. You're only going down 3 to 5 gallons of water per 1,000. So it just, if you look really close on that leaf blade, the stone, all that's still going in. You're not having a problem with it's not like it's a total coat. It's when you're doing foliar. You're doing 3 gallons on a foliar. And then on the paint, when he does paint, he's covering he's putting a lot of water in there. He's going like 9 gallons per 1,000 on the water. And so it's covering the whole plant, but it's not so thick that it doesn't allow the plant to work. So it's definitely going in. There's
any nutrients in the paint?
No, I'd be scared of that.
No.
I don't know if God.
No. My thing was I was saying is there's no nutrients, but my thing is we paint. If it's a game on Saturday, we usually Saturday. It's going down on Tuesday, so we mow a few times even before that. So by the time game time it starts, you've almost mowed half of the paint.
Yeah, you're doing that just to accelerate growth, aren't you? Quite a bit.
Yeah. Just almost like the green, like green sand.
To pull heat. You got to get heat in
like
it.
We also use it like the green sand, the same way.
Yeah. Whenever you paint it, does it affect the bed knife and the reels?
No.
Can you tell that it
No.
It doesn't gum up or anything?
No. And we keep our reels sharp and we backlap. I don't know if people still do that, but we backlap them. I backlap them once a week. Just keep them sharp. Before I started all this, I was a turf mechanic at the golf course, so I like to keep them sharp.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you won't see I mean, Miguel, that leaf blade cut on every leaf blade is cut perfectly. He is to detail on a reel. It's perfection, perfect cut.
So earlier you guys said there was a time when you guys had to totally change out the sod like 7 days before another game. Like you guys had a game and then had just totally replaced the field and you had a game the following weekend or whatever. What do you guys do in that week? Because I imagine if you're just laying fresh sod, if the roots don't develop, maybe there's some give when you're playing on the field. Do you guys do anything to try to encourage root growth or make sure it's all kind of meshed in so it doesn't come off as you're playing or anything like that? Like how do you guys get it to settle in that week before the game?
It was not, we didn't remove the sod on the bottom. We left it in and we just laid it on top.
Okay.
We did that for Rose Bowl. Yeah, we did it for Rose Bowl game when we had the Rose Bowl game, and then we had a national championship game 6 days later. So we didn't have time to replace the sod. To just lay sod on top of sod, and that's where we went. Where we're laying sod, and we're at the same time we're painting lines and logos out there. So you have
that's
so it just sits on. So it's a whole layer of grass just sitting right on top of what was on there before.
Yes.
So I imagine then that the roots haven't penetrated through that previous layer. So that doesn't move at all. There's no give to it when they're playing on the field like that. There's nothing you have to do to make sure it doesn't move around.
Incredibly heavy. And then plus,
that's awesome.
Water weight gallon. So that 2 inches of sod can hold a lot of water, hold it down. So that stuff's not moving. It's not moving.
And then you replace it, and you remove it. After you remove it, it doesn't stay down.
How wide is the roll of sod?
How wide is it?
Yes, sir.
42 inches. 42 inches.
Normally, how long?
When it's depending on the thickness of it, but when it's like 2 inches thick, it's probably 35, 40 feet at most.
Yeah, because inches, it's like a 60 feet.
Yeah.
Because most people think about sod as these little
little squares.
Oh no.
I figured it had to be some
that should be moving everywhere.
No, it's a pretty good size.
Yeah, so it's gonna stay put. There ain't nobody gonna.
That makes more sense.
Gonna set a cleat in it and slide it around.
So you're more worried about the seams. Make sure your seams are nice and tight. That's what you're worried about.
Yes, sir. Seams, yes, sir.
So another
baby's tight.
Another question came in. So you guys kind of talked about your fertilizer plan and stuff like that. Do you have an annual nitrogen per pound total that you're trying to reach?
No, because we change sod so often, so we wouldn't be able to reach it because you're changing sod. Like I said, if we average 3 times a year, then it's going to change.
Right, makes sense.
So since you guys change it out, is that kind of what allows you to be so aggressive with like your fertility plan? Because I mean, when you guys are talking, you're throwing stuff down every 2 weeks. I believe you said like a half pound every couple weeks. I mean, for like a homeowner, that's just crazy, but like thinking what you guys. Yeah, go ahead.
That was in growing season. And that's what that's when, you're getting with it. And if you're trying to transition and going through football season or got filmings, I don't think you're not doing that right now. Are you, Miguel?
No, not right now. No.
You're quarters to a pound in a month right now. Something like that.
Yeah. Half a pound. Yeah.
So what do you do with the old sod? If you got to pull it up and start over, what do you do with the old sod?
West Coast Sand and Gravel comes in and picks it up, and they find where he could take it in, and they'll use it up as foils and top dress or stuff like that.
Gotcha.
It gets recycled.
Yeah, that's a good bit.
Yeah, it gets recycled.
So do you have to come back in and grade, or? Yeah.
Yes, we use a Coro to remove it, and then we come in and grade it. Yes, add some sand and grade it in.
Olee wants to know if you can put it on a truck and ship it out to North Carolina or something.
That's Bermuda.
Hey, why not?
No, what you could do is you could make your own little, little sod patches in like a little vase and just sell it. Get your own little piece of Pasadena. Do the online, ship them out like a nursery.
Oh, they've done that.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we did that Rose Bowl game, when there was a Texas, that championship game when we had to remove that top layer, somebody came in and just took pieces of, okay, this is where they scored, this is where this person got tackled, and they started selling it off, man. It was interesting to see that. Yes.
You could start your own Etsy shop, you know, and just take some sideline field that nobody cares about and sell that on there, you know. Side gig.
Like Adam talked about MLB selling that.
Yeah, Field of Dreams.
Yeah, Field of Dreams.
You'd be surprised how much people would take it, man.
Right.
Yeah, it's part of history, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And then you guys were talking about the spoils. I've top dressed my like I said, my kid's baseball on field at high school with it. You know,
That's awesome.
You know, if you can do it, why not?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So real quick, we don't gotta go into it, but you know, Adam was telling us that you guys have some major differences of how you run things. You know, I don't know what he was getting at, but you know, what do you think that is? And like, if you guys were to bump heads on something, what would that be?
Bump heads? Not really bump heads. I say the differences is that we all have different ideas. And we've always, Will and I, we've always talked about, and I believe in, even though everything is perfect today, there's always room for improvement. So he had his ideas, I had ideas, and we would do it, put them together, you know, and we just worked at it, you know. That's how I feel. It's more that we both have open mind and try to improve ourselves. And then we went with that, you know, that says we went your way, my way. And then whatever worked out better, that's where we went, you know. It's things like that.
Yeah, Miguel does everything perfectly. Like I would want to do 10 things, and he would say, "Well, we only got time to do 5," you know, and the five would be done right. But usually, like, you know, when I was doing it, the best looking part of the field was always in the corner where I couldn't get the sprayer in there, and on the corner there where I, you know, like, and it's usually because I always had a tendency to do too much because, you know, I'd be reading soil reports. I got to get this in, I got to get that on. And every time before we resawed, I would tell Miguel, okay, Miguel, keep me under control. Don't let me get too carried away. And then, you know, lo and behold, I'd be like, pushed it too much. And then this best part of the field was in the corner where we couldn't do nothing. So but Miguel's very good, very disciplined. And, you know, that field this year was as good as any field we had. He did just an outstanding job. You know, it looked good, played unbelievable, and just hats off to him, man. He did a great job on that field.
Thank you, Will.
Well, he
Well, that had
said
to be
you taught
tough
him
to-
everything he knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you had to step away, Miguel, at the last minute before the Rose Bowl, right? You had to step out. You got sick, so Will had to come step in. Were you on the phone every day from home,
Every day,
like checking
yes.
in and telling him, you know, here's what you got to do, you know?
Well, you know,
He's walking
nowadays,
around like.
nowadays you have FaceTime, so you know that
You're
kind
right.
of works
Yeah,
out.
I was gonna say he's just showing you the field, and you're like, no, that's gotta, yeah. That's
And
awesome.
with the protocols, I was able to come back, which is a good thing.
Good.
I was able to,
Yeah.
you know, yeah, that would have been a real bummer. you
Right.
know.
Yeah. Tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been real tough, I think, on myself. It hurt last year when it wasn't here. I couldn't imagine if it would have happened again. You know, being that it was in Texas last year, being that it's a tradition, being from Pasadena and seeing that game played somewhere else, it hurt. It really hurt, and it hurt deep. You know, having it somewhere else. So it was just nice to have it back in Pasadena, and like I said, being part of it again. You know, almost not being part of it, and what it was. You know.
Do you feel like you guys are
Yeah.
extra committed this year, knowing that you guys didn't have the previous year? Did you guys, you know, want to make sure it was extra mint for this
Well,
game?
that's where I go. It's a mindset that every year I just want to do better. You know, so no matter what, every year you want to do better, and that's how we work. You know, and I think that the guys that come in and guys that are there at this moment take pride in what we do there. The guys that are there, part-timers, you know, on a daily basis, and my full-timers are all born and raised in Pasadena. And some of them have played, because we host one high school game a year, which is called a turkey tussle. And most of them have played in that game in the bowl. So they've gotten
That's
to play
awesome.
there. So, you know, for them to be there
You
working.
played it.
No, my high school was not one part of that turkey tassel. But I,
I
you know, which is sad. You know, but it's okay.
played there.
Oh, Walter, Willie, Andre, they all played
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's cool that they got to do that.
Yes. So they
So
take pride
with-
being, like I said, being from Pasadena and you know,
Yeah.
like myself, born and raised in Pasadena and to be at the boat when I was a little kid and go to field trips. To back in the days, I can remember when just say no to drugs. Nancy Reagan was there, you know, giving a speech and an assembly there, and now being part of the whole operations. It's beautiful, you know, just and it's nice.
Yeah.
I can't ask for no more better than that, you know.
I'm glad they didn't
Yeah,
say no
it's-
to
it's-
alcohol. We wouldn't be here today.
So another thing that's kind of popping up and some people are curious about, obviously with the Rose Bowl being in California, you guys have a recent ban on gasoline engine equipment and stuff. What do you guys have planned for the future as far as battery, electric type equipment?
But we really haven't been hit with that. We still have our equipment. We haven't been told anything about that. I don't know if that's gonna affect us or not. Like I said, right now we have diesel on our mowers, and I wouldn't be surprised if we go with all diesel, and that we can live with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So does it
Or-
only apply
or-
to gasoline mowers then? So
Excuse
the
me?
diesel diesel's different, right?
Yes.
It's not gasoline, so that exempts them. So as long as you have
Yes.
diesel mowers,
That
but
I
do
think
you
that I
guys-
know of, yes, because that's what I was told. With diesel, we're
Okay.
okay.
Okay. And but is all of your equipment, your aerator and your sprayers, all that kind of stuff, those are all diesel too, or
No,
those
those are
electric?
not
or-
diesel. The only thing, the diesel is my tractors and my mowers.
Hmm.
Everything else is
So that-
gas, so those will have to switch if anything.
Yeah.
My workmen.
Yeah. Expensive.
Yeah.
Workman. I have my Raycovac and my Procore.
Where
And yeah, that's
Blower.
right, my sprayer.
tractors are diesel. So
Yes.
So when you do spray the field, are you spraying by hand, like a hand gun?
No, we have a spray,
Chem lawn, or you
spray
riding-
boom. We have a Toro spray boom, with
Toro.
three booms. You know,
Yes, sir.
yeah.
yeah, I think that was Justin Pelican that said hi to us. He just
Yes, sir.
texted me. Yeah.
Okay.
So Justin Pelican, man, he helped us out on many Rose Bowl games, and he always
Yes, he did.
knocked it out of the. He did a great job for us. So
Yes, he
he did a
did.
good job.
That's
He's a
awesome.
good dude, man. Good family man too, man.
See,
Awesome
like
guy.
he's
Good
one of the
trophy.
few, like I said, he was one of the few that he would come in during the Rose Bowl game and take a week off from wherever he was at and come in and help us out. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's a good dude, man. Yeah, he worked for me in Connecticut when he was 9, I think. He was good help, good worker, and then he came out here and he just knocked it out of the ballpark and just done a great job in his career. Great guy. We have that just throughout. You know, guys come in and help us and end up building great relationships. And you know, when they're young and they have families and they end up getting old, we all getting old, and still become friends and go through a lot of things. It's, you know, when you work at the Rose Bowl, it's not an 8-hour job. It's, you know, spend the night there and just go hard and just get the job done. You know, there's many nights we work 2 or 3 days without sleep just to get the job
Wow.
done. And so, but it's
It's
off.
it's a lifestyle.
Hmm.
it really is.
Nice.
Yeah, he said y'all worked him 34 hours straight.
With Justin,
I think that's what he said.
Yeah, we he's
he didn't.
here every week. He won our lawn of the week one week for his personal lawn, and yeah, we were all at GIE in Louisville, and we met him in person. So that was pretty cool that you guys know him.
Yeah. He's got little Augusta over there, man. He's crazy with his turf, man. So He does. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was there at
Lord bless.
GIE. He was there at GIE accepting an award. I can't remember what the award was, but it was something. I can't remember. I don't know, Zach, can you remember?
Oh, KOTG Lawn of the Week.
No. Yeah, it was something new. I mean,
Probably-
the award it was presented at GIE.
Probably with it's probably a cross fitness award. He's all into fitness now, man.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
He was always into
So-
business.
Besides
Do what?
getting the numbers with the paint mixed up, have you guys had to deal with like a crisis? Like, is there some example of something that came up that you guys had to, like spend 36 hours, taking care of some issue to get it resolved before a game? Like what would be an example of something you guys had to get all hands on deck to do to fix something or get something ready real quick?
Well, the rain tarps, having to deal with rain tarps at the same time when you're having to paint the field, a week before the Rose Bowl game or UCLA game, that just adds on to the hours that you're in there.
Yeah.
You're painting so many hours, and then you got to add on having to tarp it before you remove the tarps in the morning, paint, and then tarp it again after, after letting it dry for a while. So you're there quite some hours, more than usual.
Yeah.
That's one of the rain tarps.
Yeah, then you're coming in at 4 o'clock in the morning to blow the tarp off, blow air underneath the tarp. So, yeah, and then you got to find 20 guys to pull them off, it's, scheduling, and labor is not exactly easy to find anymore. We all know that across the country. So,
Sure.
and,
How long is that
getting
process?
someone to
then?
come.
How long does it take you guys to put it on and take it off, assuming you guys have a full crew of 20 guys to help you guys out or whatever you guys need?
About 3 hours, making sure that everything's nice and tight in the correct way and stuff like that. Yeah, and then like I said,
Yeah.
you come in.
So
and
3 hours
tarps.
on and 3 hours off, or 3 hours total?
No,
like 90 minutes
on
before
and
and
off.
after.
On 3 hours and off 3 hours. Because you're having to
You got
remove them
Go ahead.
and
Well-
you're working out.
Yeah,
And you still have to
that's a long
paint.
process.
Yeah, and then after that,
Yeah.
let it dry. Yeah, it's a long process.
That's a long day.
there, for the Rose Bowl game, Miguel we tarped every square inch of that field. So there was, so that's like 100,000 square feet of tarps. So that's a lot of tarping, and that first hour or so is just blowing air underneath it, and then you got 200 sandbags, Miguel. You got
Yes.
pick up.
Sandbags all around.
So it's a lot of stuff and clean up, and then it's then hauling the tarps to the back, because we don't set the tarps down on the sidelines, for game. They get taken to the back, so that's all a process too. And so it's a process.
For this Rose Bowl game, the field was tarped 7 days out of 11 before the game.
Think about it. In 7 out of 11 days, and look how it played. Just unbelievable. So did you put a wetting agent on?
Yes,
What's
I did.
the
Will.
main purpose of that? Is it to block from the sun, from too much heat, or is it to protect from rain, or what are you guys tarping it for?
Protect from
When you're
rain.
doing that.
Protecting it from rain.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had some heavy rains a couple of days before the Rose Bowl game, a week before the Rose Bowl game, and during the week of the Rose Bowl game.
I think you had like 6
Protecting.
inches of rain. 6 inches of rain. So that's so.
So that doesn't,
now
guys,
for
does it
that-
make you guys super pissed if you guys anticipate rain, you do all the tarping and shit, and then there is no rain? You're like, God, freaking
No,
weatherman's
you know
never
what?
right.
Well, Will knows about this. You sleep well at night.
Yeah,
So you don't get mad. You don't get mad at that. You sleep well at night and knowing
No,
that you're playing it safe.
it'll be okay.
Yeah.
Look at the bright side, essentially.
Right. Rather mess up by tarping when you don't need to than not tarping when you need it to do it.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
I don't want to be
think
sleep. I don't want to be asleep and then some rain wakes me up and knowing that the field is on tarp. No, I don't want that to happen.
That'd be a bad night.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
So what would you have to do then? Let's say that happens, and you do get a heavy rain and it wasn't tarped. What do you guys have to do the next few days or whatever to get it to recover typically? Is it just drainage issues? Is it all the other stuff that goes along with it? Does it totally destroy? You have to re-level, or what do you do?
If the game is so close to the you would think that wouldn't happen because the game would be too close. So you just hope for sun.
Yeah. Dry it out.
Dry it out.
That field drains really good, but you also got to remember that sod comes from out to sod farms, so you could have some inconsistencies in that sod. So and it's an inch and a, how thick did you go, Miguel? Inch and a half this year?
Inch and a half, yeah, inch and a half.
Inch and a half. There could be some inconsistency how that that sod would hold moisture. So as Miguel said, always playability is number one. So that's why, after you resod a field, we always want to make sure we target it so we could control, so we could control the moisture and know exactly how every area of that field would play moisture wise. And, I think even Rose Bowl game, did you check moisture the day of the game?
Yes,
the
I
day
did.
before the game?
Yeah.
How were you pretty across?
Yeah, pretty even across. Yes, it's today. So right now, everything is even across. Yes, it's draining very well right now.
How many places did you test on moisture on that field? 20, 25?
I have 18 places.
18 spots that he's tested.
That's on the playing surface.
Yeah, 18, and then they're all within what, 1 or 2% of each other.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's consistency, and that's what you're looking. Athlete wants to know when he places his cleat down, it's consistency, and that's important. So.
Cool. Well, you guys want to wrap it up?
Yeah, this has been awesome. I've enjoyed listening to a lot of other people in the live chat. They said this is really cool. Some people have ducked out already. I guess it's, pretty late East Coast. So, but we want to appreciate and thank Will and Miguel for coming on and talking to us DIY guys and giving us a little taste of what it's like to work at one of the best stadiums in the country. So thank you guys for doing that.
The best stadium in the country. I thought they established that.
the best one.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Thank you for coming on. This was awesome. I loved it.
Yeah, gentlemen, thank you.
Everyone thinks he's got the best surface, or he should, because there's a lot of great surfaces out there right now. Our industry is doing a really good job, and really proud of how the industries came along. So
yes, I believe the same thing. I think our industry has come in, and sometimes I feel you need to know behind the scenes stuff before you criticize the field.
Exactly.
You don't know what that stadium, whoever's taking care of that field, is going through. So to criticize the field without knowing what's going on behind there, I can't do that, because it could happen to me where I could have events a week before, and I tried my best to do it. So it's tough to do that.
Yeah.
So we have to say that Will picked a great predecessor, and Miguel, you're doing a phenomenal job, because that field looked amazing during the Rose Bowl. So keep up the great work.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
I appreciate what you guys doing. So
thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. We'll see you guys next week.
Hey,
All right.
Hey, wait. We're gonna announce who we got next week.
Yeah, maybe we should do that.
Quick announcement.
We got a different type of one. You guys go for it.
Who goes for it?
You.
All right. Well,
you gotta pull up the calendar.
So next week, we're gonna have Cujo Yardware on the show. So they're gonna be talking about that and let us know about their cool shoes for lawn care, and come prepared to ask questions.
Yep. Cujo next week.
Ew.
All right.
All right.
See you next week, guys.
Later.
Ew.
Thanks again, man.